Have you ever stood at an airport check-in counter, heart racing, as the agent quietly says, "That'll be an extra fee," and in that exact moment, you realize your ticket price was a lie? That single question is where this entire story begins. Because baggage policies are no longer just rules printed in tiny text. They are a complex system designed to test your awareness, your timing, and sometimes even your patience. And as a professional travel planner, airport hacks expert, and someone who understands airport security operations from the inside, I can tell you this with confidence. Most travelers don't lose money because they pack too much. They lose money because they don't understand how airlines think, how airports measure, and how policies are quietly enforced long before your bag ever reaches the plane. And here's the part nobody on YouTube clearly explains. Baggage rules are not static. They are dynamic, flexible, and sometimes strategically vague, meaning the same bag can be free on one flight, expensive on another, and flagged as a security concern on a third, even if you change nothing. And that's because airlines don't just charge for weight. They charge for risk, space, speed, and compliance, all hidden behind friendly phrases like standard allowance or carry-on included, when in reality your bag is evaluated across multiple invisible checkpoints, starting from the booking screen, where fare classes quietly strip baggage privileges without clearly warning you, then moving to algorithm-based gate predictions, where airlines estimate how full a flight will be and pre-decide how aggressively they'll enforce carry-on rules, then reaching airport security, where certain packing choices, not dangerous, just inefficient, can slow screening and subtly increase scrutiny on your entire travel profile. And yes, that profile exists, because airports track patterns, not personalities, meaning frequent last-minute and travelers who consistently trigger secondary inspections often face stricter enforcement later without ever being told why. And this is where the real hidden costs live, not just in fees, but in delays, stress, and lost control. Because once your bag is flagged overweight, oversized, or simply inconvenient, your options shrink fast. Suddenly, you're forced to check it. Suddenly, fees multiply. Suddenly, your cheap ticket costs more than a premium fare. And most people blame the airline, when the truth is more uncomfortable. The system worked exactly as designed, exploiting common assumptions, like they won't check, "It's only a little heavy," or "I've gotten away with this before." But airports don't run on memory. They run on probability. And the odds are no longer in your favor, especially now, as post-pandemic travel volumes meet tighter margins and airlines quietly reclassify baggage as a major revenue stream, which is why policies feel harsher, enforcement feels random, and travelers feel targeted, when in reality, the rules were always there, just buried, fragmented, and intentionally confusing. And here's something almost no travel channel talks about. Weight limits are not just about aircraft balance. They're about labor economics, because many airports cap baggage weights to protect ground staff injury rates. And when those limits are exceeded, airlines face internal penalties, insurance complications, and union compliance issues, which is why a single extra kilogram can trigger a hard stop instead of flexibility, especially at smaller airports or international hubs with stricter labor agreements. And this explains why the same airline may be lenient in one country and ruthless in another, making travelers think rules are arbitrary when they're actually locally enforced. And then there's the carry-on myth. The belief that if a bag fits in the overhead bin, it's safe, when in reality, airlines increasingly care about boarding efficiency, not bin space, because slow boarding costs money, causes missed slots, and disrupts schedules. So when your carry-on slows the process because it's heavy, awkward, or requires rearranging, it becomes a target, not because it's illegal, but because it's inefficient. And efficiency is everything in modern aviation. And now, let's talk about packing strategies that actually work. Not the generic roll your clothes advice you've heard 1,000 times, but strategies built around how bags are scanned, weighed, and evaluated. It's like understanding that external pockets add perceived bulk, even if weight is low, making bags more likely to be measured, or knowing that dense items like shoes placed near the base of a bag affect scale readings differently than evenly distributed weight, for realizing that security-friendly packing, clear separation of electronics, liquids, and layered clothing reduces inspection time, which subtly lowers scrutiny across the rest of your travel process. Because yes, smoother screening often leads to smoother boarding, not officially, not guaranteed, but statistically. And this is where smart travelers win quietly, by packing in ways that look compliant, feel light, and move fast, not by pushing limits. And another hidden truth: loyalty status doesn't protect you as much as timing does, because enforcement peaks during full flights, peak hours, and weather disruptions. Meaning, even elite travelers get hit when operational pressure rises. Which is why the smartest strategy isn't status alone, it's situational awareness. Choosing flights with historically lower load factors, boarding earlier, when possible, and avoiding last-minute gate chaos, where rules tighten instantly. And let's not ignore security implications, because certain packing habits raise flags without travelers realizing it, like overstuffed bags that require manual inspection, unusual item density that confuses scanners, or excessive cables and batteries that trigger secondary checks, all of which increase interaction points where baggage rules can suddenly be enforced more strictly, turning a smooth journey into a stressful negotiation. And this is why hidden costs aren't just dollars. They're lost time, emotional exhaustion, missed connections, and a sense of powerlessness that ruins the travel experience. And the real secret, the one that separates experienced travelers from frustrated ones, is not beating the rules, but aligning with them. Packing lighter, not just in weight, but in appearance. Choosing bags that compress rather than expand. Understanding fair language before booking instead of at the airport. And treating baggage as part of your travel strategy, not an afterthought. Because the moment you see your bag as a system component, interacting with pricing algorithms, security protocols, labor rules, and boarding logistics, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not surprised by fees. You're not shocked by enforcement. You're prepared, calm, and in control. And that's the ultimate travel hack. Not loopholes, not tricks, but knowledge, applied quietly, consistently, and confidently. So here's the suggestion I want to leave you with at the end of this journey, especially for the Golden Age travel tips community. Before your next trip, don't ask how much can I pack. Ask, how will my bag be perceived at every stage of this airport? Choose flexibility over fullness, clarity over clutter, preparation over assumption. And if you do that, if you pack to move smoothly instead of pushing limits, you won't just save money, you'll travel smarter, faster, and with a level of calm most passengers never experience.